What's
Okay.
up, guys? Welcome to the Daily Refinement. We are doing a live Q&A, reseller Q&A now. So if you guys have any questions, throw it in the chat. Today's question is, are resellers bad people? The reason why I asked that is I've been full-time reselling since 2017, and some people look at resellers like they're bad people. Like we go to Goodwill, Salvation Army, we buy stuff that is worth more, and we flip it online on places like eBay, Amazon, Poshmark. Maybe we sell at the flea market. Maybe we have an antique booth. But are we taking stuff away from people who need it more? Like in the UK, they're literally called charity shops. So is that stuff meant for people who are less fortunate? It is interesting, though, that we have an entire industry based off of things that people throw away. For me, it's been kind of insane because I sell stuff I find at the flea market and at thrift stores and at, I was like, flea market, thrift stores. Those are like my Sunday hauls, right? And then during the week, I sell liquidation that I get from companies when they can't sell stuff. It gets discounted, and then if it doesn't sell when it's discounted, it gets zeroed out, which means they just write off the whole thing. Or I sell returns, so items that have been sold to somebody, and then they don't want it anymore, or for some reason they return it back, and it's pretty interesting because I have the whole cycle. I buy stuff from the flea market. Also, as I told you guys, about 40% of the stuff that I buy in bulk, I cannot resell even for $1 online. That stuff actually goes back to the flea market. So it's like flea market is a place I source, it's also a place I sell. Um, so it's kind of insane. And there are things that we do donate back to the thrift store as well. So are resellers bad people? It's a good question. I kind of think that as resellers, we also are kind of scavengers. Like I try to treat my business like a business where we do the same thing over and over again. But the truth is, it's not exactly the same stuff over and over again. Like if you own a coffee shop, you're literally serving the same latte over and over again. I might be selling the same shirt, but it's not the same brand. It's not the same condition. It's not the same size. Similar, but was a little bit of a difference. So every day is kind of different. So I don't know if you guys have any questions or feedback, but let me know in the chat today. I'm open Q&A. I don't have as much of a rant today.
Surprising.
Yeah, I don't, I'm actually just living the dream, as they say.
Well, Annette says, I went to a garage sale the other day and told the owner I was a reseller, and she started bringing collectibles out of her house.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? Do you get both? Oh, you're a reseller. I have all this other stuff. What's it worth? Or are they like, oh, you're scum. You
Right.
you resell things for a profit. Shame on you. I don't know. I mean, like, what kind of reactions do you guys get when you tell people that you're a reseller? I actually don't say that. You know, I just went to my high school reunion. They asked what I do. I said I have an online store, and then they asked me what I sell, and I said I sell liquidated goods. And they're like, "Oh, interesting." And then most people did not ask any more questions after that. But liquidation, salvage, reselling, does it sound like you're unemployed and that you're just in between jobs? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I don't know. I remember I had a garage sale actually when I was moving,
Mm-hmm.
and someone emailed, I put it on Craigslist, and someone emailed me and asked me for specific things like, do you have
Yes.
video games,
Yeah.
consoles, da da
Yep.
da da. And I was like, you're a
Yeah, that's a
reseller.
reseller. That's a
I can
reseller
tell.
email. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have video games, consoles, or fine jewelry for
Uh huh.
cheap? Um, Yeah, interesting. I don't know if you guys consider it is it a negative thing? Is it a positive thing? And then if you're a reseller, is your job to find the platform where you can sell items for the most money? Because like I still have an active Amazon account. I sell like one or two items per month. So that's not my focus, but I still have one open. And if I have something that's like 100 of the same thing, if I'm ungated, maybe I send it in the FBA. Right now, my Amazon business is 100% FBA, so I don't fulfill anything myself, and it's fantastic.
Um, my spooky life says I get both reactions.
Hmm.
Um, Michael says, turn it around, Chris. Are the Goodwill or resale shops pricing things so high it doesn't benefit people who really need it?
Hey, that's a good question. So if the charity shops and Goodwill shops are pricing things like $12 for a Nike shirt, that's I think it's still better than buying a Nike shirt for $35 at Nike. I don't know. What do you guys think? Like you could buy a shirt for $12 at Goodwill or 35 at the store. For a T-shirt, we're talking like $90 for a polo. That's really expensive. So I don't know. I don't know if they're pricing people who really need it out of the market, but then also people who really need it, do they need that brand? Right? Do they need Nike? Do they need Balenciaga? Do they need Prada if you are on hard times? I don't know.
Hmm.
Because like I do get that email occasionally, which is, Chris, my dream is to be able to afford luxury without the price tag. And I'm like, your dream is to be fake? Because like when you're buying Louis Vuitton or Chanel, like part of it is being able to afford it. Like when somebody said, if you wear a brand new Louis Vuitton bag but you fly Coach, you're fake. You're not rich. So why are you wearing that bag? I don't know. What do you guys think? Because I think that like over 65% of Louis Vuitton sales are for people who make less than 40,000 a year. It's it's people flexing. They're not making money. They just want to show people that they're doing well. I don't know. It is interesting. But
Mm.
if you were to sell a pre-owned Louis Vuitton bag or Gucci or Chanel, it's probably not going to a top tier person. They're buying it brand new from the store. So it's interesting.
Mhm. Chris says, I tell people I'm in e-commerce and hardly ever get any further questions.
I know. I maybe I should just yeah. Do we want to engage in that conversation? So if it's like I'm a physician, they're like, oh, that's cool. What kind of physician? You're like, oh, pediatry, I'm a pediatrician. What is that field called? Pediatry, not pediatry.
Pediatrician?
What are they? Yeah. Oh, I
Like
know
for kids?
pediatrician, but is
Uh-huh.
it? Well, anyway, what kind of doctor are you? I'm a pediatrician. That
Uh-huh.
sounds good, right? People are like, oh, you're a doctor. Cool. My friends, if you're single, my friend's single, right? That's like they try to hook those people up. But if you say you're a reseller, do you ever get a hookup? Like, I know Sherry's really nice and she's single. Let's find a nice reseller for her. I don't know if that's a thing. Do you like, because that's always how I think of it. Like, would you want your daughter to date them? Would you want your son to date them? Right now, I have two small kids. Do I want them in the future to date a reseller? Or would you guys pick a different occupation, like sound engineer? I don't know. So I don't know. But if you say you're an entrepreneur, then I don't know if that's good either.
Hmm. Well, it just depends because people just aren't able to immediately know, like, oh, this is generally how well off you are, I
That's
guess, in
true. But
terms.
what if you say like you're an Uber driver? I
Hmm.
guess at least they
Kind of understand
kind of
their.
understand what an Uber driver does. I think people think that Uber drivers make about $20 to $30 an hour. I don't really know though how much drivers actually make because they make a lot more than that gross. They make probably 25, $30 gross, but how much do they make after the depreciation and gas and maintenance and repairs and all that stuff? I don't know. So, but I'm just thinking like we all get to pick what job we want. Would you guys pick reseller? I've been doing this full time for 7 years, and I feel like it kind of is normal for a reseller to cobble together a whole bunch of different incomes.
Hmm.
Like I have YouTube income, right? I have a Facebook group that I run with Tech and Sports. That group has been doing well for a long time. So that group, over 2,000 people are in there. Right now we have Carl talking about ephemera and coins. So like people who sell ephemera and coins or cards or collectibles, those kind of resellers are also like in a different category. They're like collectors. Well, what do you sell online? Oh, I sell Pokemon cards. Maybe that niche is a little bit more highbrow. Is that more fancy? If you sell cards, sports cards, comics, Pokemon cards, are you more clout than antique reseller? Is antique reseller more clout than shoe seller? I don't know. It's just interesting to me because a lot of people think resellers are bad people, and I'm just curious what people think. Like if it's your occupation, it's what you do. Like people say, I'm a dentist, I'm a plumber, I'm an HVAC. But do people say I'm a reseller? I don't actually put reseller on my like when I bought a house. My income is from reselling, but I said consultant. But it's. I mean, I just like I consult customers online to buy my item. Because if you put sales, banks don't like salespeople because their
Hmm.
income fluctuates. They want like stable people. So I was like consultant, and they got approved just fine. So I wonder.
Yeah. They said pediatrics, but.
Pediatrics,
Hmm.
thank you. I'm in pediatrics.
Um, My spooky life was saying I have been homeless and I never once ran into resellers at the clothing closets I went to. I was not thrifting for cheap name brands.
We might move a little bit right here because we're gonna fill up the.
We have to fill the car. Make a pile.
Yeah, you want to make a pile? Yeah, yeah. All right. Sounds good. Thanks, Taylor. Okay.
Crypto 6 says, I notice a lot of retail Goodwill stores in the Atlanta area that price everything higher than some other Goodwills.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know this, I think most of you do know this, but Goodwill is regional. So in my area, there are 5 Goodwill outlets. All of them are run differently. So it depends on what region you're in. Some of the areas here use colored tags. So each colored tag is a different price each week. Some of them are marked down, like they have dollar days. They're all different. Their Goodwill bins are all managed differently. And there's also Goodwill boutiques in San Francisco where everything's like $50 or higher. Also, every single Goodwill here in the Bay Area has its own eBay store. So it's like, Goodwill is a huge operation, huge operation.
Geo says, I've been doing text method and listing a 50 a day at, 50 per day at all clothes, $19.97,
Yeah.
and accepting offers. Do you think it's still a great method? I accept $3 offers. COGS are $1 to $2.
Don't recommend that method, and that's not what he recommends either. He recommends buying stuff for $8 or less and selling it for $30 or more. He has items in his store that are under $20, but that's because he buys bulk. When he was doing individual, he went all the way up to 160 items a day with the average of $30 or more. The tech model, I'm actually doing that in my Poshmark Closet, which is at Reseller Nirvana. The average sale price in my Poshmark Closet is like $49. So it's all stuff that's over $30 and over, actually 35 and over, with the exception of maybe like 10 items. So right now, crypto, look at your store and tell me what percentage of your items are over $30 plus shipping, because that's text model. If you're listing 50 items a day under $20, that's actually the grind model. We have that in our group. You can do the grind model or the tech model. The grind model is where you list tons of low profit items, and that only is okay if the items sell fast. And if they sell in less than 90 days, I say go for it. If you have items that take longer than 90 days and they're low profit, I call that category 4. Those items you can just redonate. It doesn't affect you that much. Like if your store is category 1, all high profit, all over $20 profit, like my Poshmark Closet, that store prints money, but you're always going to be not having enough items in your store. Number 2, high or low profit fast. That means that you're selling a bunch of items and you're doing okay, but you're not like, your bank account's not getting super full, but you're making a living. But that's items that sell fast for low profit. Number 3 is high profit items that take a while. This model does work as long as you have a huge store. If you have 3, 4, 5,000 items all over $30, you only need to sell a few a day to make a living, but you need a huge store, lots of space to do that. And then number 4 is what the grind model is. Low profit, sell slowly, and that's challenging. And that kind of store, you can just start over and it won't make that big of a difference, because like you might have 1,000 items in your store and sell 1 to 5 items a day. That's so slow. It's going to take you literally 10 years to sell all your stuff. You could just donate your whole store and get a job at Starbucks, and you would make more money than running a category 4 store, which is what most people listening are doing. The video I just made on Poshmark, when I'm looking at comps on Poshmark, most people are category 4. They're selling the same types of things as me for way more money in the less desirable colors. An example this morning came up, a pair of vintage Anne Klein boots, right? Shared 1,000,000 times, fancy background, crazy long description. Come to my listing party on Friday. I'll buy you a cup of coffee if you buy this item. All this crazy fancy stuff, but how many people are looking for vintage Anne Klein boots size 5? I mean, that's like, she might be lucky, in my opinion, to get $12 after 10 years. It's just not a very good item. But her whole store is like that. So, I mean, if you have all size 5 vintage Anne Klein just means it's old. It's not cool because it's vintage, in my opinion, just a pair of brown boots. In fact, it might mean that the glue is falling apart on the inside. Someone in the group, Jen, mentioned that maybe an Anne Klein belt from that era would be worth more money because they're like cool and they're like a cool design, but like a pair of boots that's 20 years old and in a bad size, I don't know if you can share that one to success on Poshmark and on eBay. If you do 90% promoted listings, it still might not sell. It's just not a good size, not a good color. So for the person doing the model of listing a lot of items that are under $20, that usually doesn't work. Usually doesn't work.
865 Picker says, a lot of times when I purchase clothing to resell,
Yep.
I will purchase it off of Whatnot and it will come all wrinkled in a log or in a box. How long should steaming and pictures, bagging, inventory should it take?
If you sell less than 30 items a day, I wouldn't source on Whatnot because it's too slow because you have to wait for the item to arrive like a week later after the person ships it. And the items are going to be different, meaning like you're paying tax and shipping on the item. So you have to buy bulk in order to really get a deal. And on Whatnot, you can't sell lots of over 5 pounds without it being extraordinarily expensive for the customer. The only way to do it would be like buy for 30, sell for 100. That would be like how you do Whatnot. And you can do that. But in that scenario, I would say it takes around an hour to steam 10 items because you're selling the more premium stuff. So in that scenario, I would say 1 hour every 10 items. If you're like buying really fancy stuff that people are letting go for $30 because they're just moving it fast, you got to put that work in to make it worth 100. It's going to take, because like they're selling it on Whatnot for 30 when it's worth 100 because it's fast. They're not putting in the work to steaming it and staging it to that degree. Because when you're selling $100 item, you need more than like 20 people on the stream. You need like 100 or 200 people to see it to get that full amount.
B says, hi, Chris and Christine. Would you reduce your number of listings during slower summer months?
Not related to sales. Like during right now, like last month on Poshmark, I did 15,000. This month, my goal was actually 17,000, but I think we might be doing a lot more than that. The main thing is to focus on having as many items as possible that people want. So I would not decrease the number of items in my store during a slow period of time. I might actually do the opposite. I might list as many items as possible at the best deals I can because there's less people online. So like I want those customers who are online to actually buy something, so it's got to be a great deal and I want to have as many items as possible. I've never thought, man, I wish I had less items for sale. That's not I want as many items as possible listed and as many items to sell as possible without breaking my system.
Let's see. Praetorian says, I watched your shipping video that shows you actually shipping, and it's so fast. I can't even always see what's on your computer screen. So fast.
Yeah, my shipping is about 36 seconds. Can you guys see me? I'm in under this.
Yeah.
Okay. My shipping is actually 36 seconds per item. It's fast. So I weigh every single item to make sure it's the right weight, and I'm so used to the flow. I've shipped like 50,000 items, so it's really fast. And man, I bet I've shipped hundreds of thousands of items because a lot of times when I'm shipping a box, it's like 10 items in it. So now that we're doing lots, it's insane, guys, how many items I'm moving and how many shipping things I'm doing. Because yesterday at the flea market was my record. I fit 1,700 items into my dad van. Okay, and then earlier, Christine and I went to the post office and I dropped off like 1,400 items. This was packed to the rafters. So like, I know that if you put them in the USPS burlap sacks, it's easier to unload, but it cuts a little bit of space out. So like, throwing everything in here and squishing it in tight, you can fit in a lot of packages in here. But now I'm so happy because I only have to make one trip to the post office per day. But shipping, if it's just like when Tech was saying when he lists, it only takes 23 seconds, right? He already knows where his mouse is supposed to be. He'll be like, done, because he's been doing it for so long that everything is in the same place. So I'm really simplifying a lot. we're going to be making more videos coming up, and you'll guys, I'm going to do more vlog style. So you
Mm-hmm.
guys will be able to see what it looks like.
More behind the
More
scenes type of
behind the
stuff.
scenes stuff.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the super chat, Criselda.
Thank
They
you.
say thank you, Chris and team, for the useful and honest content. You help me make better decisions for my reselling business.
Oh, that hits me in the feel goods. That's a good one. Can you guys hear us okay?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Let us know if it's bad, but I think it's sounding okay. Hi, Mad Cat Shop. Laker Zen says, I had someone call me out on eBay because I used Sell Similar and took their title, so they felt they had to direct message me. Am I in the wrong? I found it funny personally and didn't respond.
I wouldn't respond, but I like to at least change it up. Like, it's not too difficult to be original. So I wouldn't just straight steal somebody's title. I wouldn't take people's pictures. I wouldn't take people's description. I would at least modify it at least 4%, which is at least one word. So you can say, like, that you tried. Just totally ripping somebody off, that's too lazy. So I personally, I wouldn't DM you if you ripped off something that I did to a T, but there are people who steal stuff from me, content, titles, thumbnails. People download our white papers and then repurpose it as their own. But I mean, it's not you, so it doesn't work. People who do that doesn't work as well as if you put your own flair in.
Philosophy says, is summertime when only the best resellers survive?
It might be because there's just less people. So if there's 20 people, like right now is a grind on Whatnot because it's 4th of July. So people are used to taking Monday off. I find it a little bit weird that Tuesday closes because that's what it's like here. Like Tuesday is closed. Tomorrow, there's no childcare, so I have to take care of both babies tomorrow. It's weird the momentum of working Monday, taking Tuesday off, coming back Wednesday. The reason why I say that is most people are not working today. That's what I'm trying to say. So I think, man, is when summer the best resellers survive? I think so because there's just not that much business to go around. So you got to do a really good job to get customers. Right now, like I'm pretty much accepting every single offer because I want the sales to come in. If it's profitable, let's go. Next item.
So there's not as many buyers.
There's not as many buyers, so you got to take advantage when you get the offers.
Wendy Ray says, a lot of thrift stores are for profit nowadays. They don't like resellers, but isn't that what they are doing? Even as a nonprofit, aren't they reselling?
They are, but they're looking for the final customer. So as an example, on my Whatnot stream that's going on right now, there's probably about 40 people in the stream waiting for my streamers to make a mistake and sell a $100 item for $10 or $1 if there's a glitch. And those resellers always guarantee me that the item will sell because there's so many resellers in my chat that I'll always sell every single item. However, I'm not looking for resellers. I'm purposely looking for consumers. So when people come to my chat and they buy something that's $50 for 12, they're happy. A reseller is not happy because they got to resell for 20 and 12 into 20 doesn't work. But if you're running a brick and mortar, it's the same. You're actually at Target, if you're a reseller, they can actually ban you for life. They don't want resellers taking advantage of their doorbusters. They want regular people to come in, buy milk for $5 and also a PS2. They don't want they never have PS2s because Johnny is in there cleaning them out every weekend. They don't like that. It makes total sense to me. I don't like only resellers in the chat. But of course, I appreciate resellers, but it depends on what you're trying to do.
B says, hi, Chris. Also, what should you do if you have the capacity to list 50 items a day easily, but your sales and cash flow don't match listing that many?
That means that your sourcing is very poor. So you have to, like as an example, if your sales aren't catching up to your needs or your capacity, this is what last week's podcast is about. If you guys want to listen to the full version on Patreon, Isaiah asks us questions like, what happens if you need to pay bills this week, or you have an unintended emergency like your brakes need to be replaced, and this week you don't have money for inventory. And it's been a long time since I've been in that situation where it wipes me out and I don't have any money to buy more inventory. Like, I finally started to make some progress, but then my car broke down and I lost all the money in my savings account and I can't buy inventory this week. It's been a while since that situation happened, but the only thing that you can do is source better stuff that sells faster. There's no other option. You can sell the crappy stuff you have in your store for giveaway prices like $1, $2 local, 50 cents, whatever, to get rid of it, to put that money in the stuff that turns over faster. Because if you have 10 items in your store and all of them are $50 profit, you just need to sell one to get $50 profit. If you have 20 or 50 items in your store and they're all $1 profit, then you got to sell all of them to make any money. So in your situation where you can't find as many items as you can list, you got to spend more time looking, because you're in a situation where listing is not the problem anymore. You need to go find stuff that sells immediately. Right now, in my Poshmark Closet, I'm looking for 10% sell through a week. To give you guys an idea, if I have 100 items in my store, I want to sell at least 10 per week. So I want that sell through to be fast, 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 fast. And I think that my true Poshmark sell through rate per month right now is probably 40%. Like, all the items I listed on April, May, the beginning of May, I had the first meetup here. And I listed 35 items. All 35 items sold the first month. That's 100% sell through rate. I've been listing every single Friday since then. And basically all the items that I list are selling like within the first week. So that's just going to show, like, I'm only putting items in my Poshmark Closet that are going to sell immediately. I'm in that situation as you. I can't find enough items to list at my capacity, but I'm just listing the best items, so the cash flow is still there. Also, guys, starting on Friday, let me know. I need some feedback from Christine on this. I'm thinking about having a listing party. What do you guys think? From 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, listing party. My goal is 70. I want to do 70 listings photographed in an hour, list 70 items in an hour, and then I'm going to update my accounting for the week. So I think a lot of people here don't understand their numbers. Well, why don't you join us on Friday? Listing party will be free. Anybody can join. Anybody on YouTube, join. At the end, maybe around 11:45, let's get into our spreadsheets, update all our numbers, find out how much profit we made, and then at 12, what about a luncheon for everybody? Everybody bring lunch, and somebody recommended this morning of what's in your cup. So lunch, tell us what you're eating, tell us what's in your cup. Let's do a little happy hour. I was gonna call it. We joke in the group about calling it Pizza Fridays, but I don't want to eat pizza every Friday, and I want to do it every Friday forever. So I want to just hang out with other people. You let us know what's going well, what's not going well. Kind of like this, but I want to see your beautiful face on Zoom. So I'm kind of excited to do this. If you want to join this week, email me at chris@dailyrefinement.com. I'll shoot you a link to the Zoom. But from 9 to 12, I want to do listing party, and then from 12 to whenever, hang out, chat, see what's going on. I just want to think of something that people actually want to go to. I want people to come every week, and I want to see their face. Yeah.
Yeah, let us know. Bargain Hunter says, hi, any tips or strategies for listing replenishables?
Yep. So I have about 40 replenishables in my Poshmark Closet right now. I would say there's different strategies. You can either list every single one that's a different variable, like one widget, two of the same widget, three of the same widget, four of the same widget, 20 of the same widget, all in different formats so that people can pick something. Also, you could do the keyword optimization is really important. So what I would do is probably experiment 1 month at a time with different keywords to find out what's working for you. Depending on what category you are in, I would attend that one in the call. So for example, I'm selling shoes right now on Poshmark. So I joined the shoe call and I asked them specific questions. What photos do shoe customers care about? Which words rank the best? What order should I do? Women's or men's? Sandals or flip-flops, sneakers or running shoes, just trying to get an idea of what the market's at. And that gave me a good idea of what kinds of items to list in my Poshmark, because I'm only listing stuff that I can really sell immediately. And I don't know if this tip is useful for you guys or not, but on Friday was the 30th, and I was at $14,000 in sales, and I really wanted to hit 15 because 15 sounds better. So I went through all 90 of my listings on Poshmark and adjusted them. Better keywords, rearranged the photos a little bit, sent offers to watchers. On ones I had a lot of profit on, I aggressively sent offers. Like I had a bunch of items listed for 125, and yeah, I don't know why Rachel's looking through those. Um, I had items at $125. I sent aggressive offers at like 79, 69. Oh, it's Taylor. I thought it was Rachel. You're good.
I was thinking about, I wonder
Yeah.
if shelves around.
Which shows?
Um, I was wondering if we should put shelves around the sides for all the gadgets, but we can talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. But I do want to move the shelves.
Cool.
Thanks, Taylor. Guys, Taylor from the group is here helping me. It's so epic. So Taylor is in my old spot at Safekeep, and I don't miss the alarms. I don't miss the train. It's nice and quiet here.
Cue the train.
Cue the train, right? So it's so quiet here, but Taylor's in my old spot. He's in one of the units that I used to work in. So he's here helping. If you guys are in the area and you want to stop by, let's do more audience involvement. Let's do it.
Praetorian says that recent Posh video you did was just like the old school videos you did back in the day with the notebook on the right-hand side of the screen, and I enjoyed it.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I'm gonna do some screen share videos and just share like the old school days. And I'm doing it like kind of like the same as old times because I'm doing it while I have to wait for Dream Feed. You guys know that Henry is little and now he's sleeping through the night for the most part. So today we are practicing the one arm out of the swaddle because he's strong. He can break out of the swaddle now. So we're gonna try one arm for a couple days and then both arms. And you guys know infants wake up when they shake and they wake up. That's why the swaddle keeps them asleep. But he's too strong, so we gotta get him out of that thing. He breaks out.
Icarus Rising Resell says my average buy cost is $4.80.
Yep.
And my average sell cost is $26.20 shipped.
Mm-hmm.
I list 10 a day and sell an average of 6 a day. Is there anything I should work on to fix?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get your average sale price above 30. 4 into 26 is excellent, depending on if you sell first class or priority mail. But that makes having that differential between what you pay and what you sell for makes a huge difference. On Poshmark, I'm at like $46 and my cost of goods is under $8. So it's like, I wish I paid attention earlier in my reselling career because I know so much more about sourcing now than I used to. So like the listing part, I've always been fast enough at that, but I've never been really an expert in what I'm buying because every single day now I'm looking at deals to buy and I'm passing on 99.9% of them because they don't match what I'm looking for. And then buying bulk, I just barely found a vendor at the flea market that's going to buy some of my stuff for really cheap because that's going to help a lot. I have a whole bunch of stuff that can't be resold on Whatnot or Poshmark or eBay. Got to find a new home for it. And so got to have those sources set up. But if you are at 4 and a 26, you're probably making a great living. To get to that next level where you have tons of money, you just need to increase that over 30.
Shell says, in the UK, how many items should I aim to have in my Poshmark closet to get daily sales?
I started having daily sales in my Poshmark closet at 30 items. So it depends on what kind of stuff you're selling. There are closets that I look at that have 4,000 or 5,000 items that don't have regular sales. They just keep listing and listing and listing, and they're not paying attention to what customers want. And they keep trying to optimize sharing and parties and I don't know, other things that don't matter. You just need to list things that people are looking for at a good price. And Poshmark is less competitive than eBay. Not as much audience, but it's way less competitive. My guess is you're probably priced 100 to 200% too high if you're not getting regular sales.
Chrono Customs says, what do you think about selling watches on eBay? I'm selling custom GShocks right now, and there's not a lot of people who buy it every day, so it's not a multi-$1,000 a month item.
I know, that's a tough one. I love GShocks, and I think they're going to be making more of a comeback, especially the ones that are solar, just because it's nice. I love I hate plugging in stuff, right? So right now, the reason why I'm wearing a Fitbit and a Whoop is because, and my Aura Ring is in the mail, so I'll have all three of those coming up soon. Is because I want to improve my sleep. But like a G-Shock is so dope, especially the solar one, because they don't need to be charged. Um, but it is tough. The custom Air Force market, the custom G-Shock washer market, the upcycling things, very cool but small market. So I recommend you just sell things that people are looking for and just do that as a side project. Do custom G-Shocks for fun. Don't some make a couple hundred, couple thousand a month. That's great, but you're most likely not going to make a full-time living doing that. I would stick to things that people are buying way more of.
Simple Beautiful says, how do you stay so humble? What is your process?
I'm just like, I was trying to think about the fact that most of the things that have been going well for me have been recent. Like in 2016, 2017, that's not that long ago. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. Like my Facebook marketing company was failing. Um, my my training company was failing. I used to be in the car dealership business, and I was trying to sell training to car salespeople, and that was very hard. Like I took like I was making like 2 grand a month with that business, and then my Facebook marketing company was making like 2 grand a month. So I was making 4 grand, two businesses. I mean, that's horrible, right? And that time was when I was seriously trying to get married. So like I was talking to Susanna, my wife, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? This is not working. And she said, well, I better start saving for a ring because I'm not going to be around forever. So then I was like, okay, I got to get this in the gear. That's when I discovered reselling in 2017. Um, and I was already making not very good money, but probably like 3 or 4 grand a month in my other companies. When I started reselling, I didn't have to spend any of the money. I can get by on 3 or 4 grand. So um, no bills other than rent and a cheap car. And I just saved and did the like rolled the money back into itself. I've never really spent the money from reselling. So it's not I wasted probably 3 to 4 of the 6 or 7 years that I've been reselling, not understanding that I need to spend more time sourcing. Um, I basically wanted to be a great lister, processor person. You guys have been watching me for a long time. I've been obsessed with that part of it. But I've never been obsessed with finding the best stuff, right? I've never wanted to show a haul video. How many haul videos have I done? Like hardly any.
Yeah, hardly.
I don't do haul videos. I don't obsess over vintage this over that. I'm not like that type of person. But I now realize it's a lot easier to sell stuff like it's really okay. I don't even know how to explain how my Poshmark closet is because everything is $20 profit, $30 profit, $40 profit, $100 profit. It's so different than when I first started, and it was like $1 profit, $2 profit. Lost money on that one. Can't find that one. It's like the difference between like making $1 or $2 and now like every single item is over $20 profit. It's just kind of mind blowing. And the items that I have a pair of Columbia boots I sold for $12. That's not a $20 profit, but I know that I humbled myself. It's only worth $12, right? Some people have that same pair of boots listed for $36.99. That's not going to sell. I need to sell fast. I don't have the space. So me selling a pair of boots for $12, I'm psyched. I'm happy because that's what it's worth to sell fast. And I got that pair of boots on the side of the road. So me picking it up for free. And I was telling Tech this earlier. Each month, this is going to sound really interesting. I'm probably making $600 a month right now from stuff I find on the street. I've kind of been pulling over and picking up stuff I find on the ground and selling it for fun. And it's a lot. It covers my electricity bill, my garbage bill. I have water for my streamers that costs like $30 a month. I buy lunch once a week for everybody. That's like $100. Me finding stuff on the curb is paying for that. Like I found a used Mac computer on the side of the road, but and it was like in pretty bad shape. I sold it on Facebook Marketplace for $65. That's awesome. The person came, they tested it, they loved it, and I'm like, that's $600 from just on this literally garbage on the street. So that makes me wonder: are resellers bad people? Is that a bad thing to do? And we just picked up two things on the side of the road yesterday. We picked up a playhouse, a big plastic playhouse. I don't know what those are called. And when I put it into my dad van, below it was a Love Every sink. So I don't know if you guys know the brand Love Every. It's a very expensive kids brand. And the Love Every sink is a sink that recycles the water. It's really cool. So your baby sits in front of it, and the machine pulls the water from the tub back through the faucet, so they can turn it on and off like a regular faucet, but it doesn't drain anywhere. It just stays in the tub. That's a $120 toy, and it was just on the side of the road, and it works. So went home, put two AA batteries in it, and it worked. And I'm just like, that's crazy. That's just like on the side of the road. And then probably the playhouse is probably worth 60, 70 bucks. I'd say the sink's probably worth 40. There's only one on eBay right now, and somebody's asking 100. But that's just on the side of the road. Questions, feedback? What do you guys think?
Oh yeah, it is a late stream today, Zane says.
It's a late stream.
It's 11 p.m.
Ooh, in the UK? Yeah, sorry guys.
Mad Cat Shop says, Chris, can I use my old out of stock listing as a relist, or shall I do sell similar option?
It depends on what it is. I don't think it matters too much. I prefer to sell similar because I don't want it to be stale. But if it has traction, it's sold before, then eBay is going to trust it. eBay is going to trust that you know what you're doing. When it goes out of stock, they put it in a different part of eBay. They don't store it in the same part as an item that didn't sell.
Dan says that they're trying to send a tablet. Where do I print the warning label from, and what one?
You're not supposed to send stuff with batteries without some kind of warning, and I don't know how to get that label, but it comes on every box. So I imagine you could just Google electronics or battery sticker on Amazon, buy a roll of them, and then just put that sticker on the box when you send it, so that you send it properly. And I think they have to go ground. They're not supposed to be in the air.
Germs, though, says, I have around 150 items in my store and sell between 2 to 5 a day. I am finding it hard to make space for my stuff. Is there something to help?
The easiest way to solve that problem is to go vertically. And then the more similar your items, the less space it takes. So if you have 10 different size objects in a box, it'll only be about 30 to 50% full. The rest of it will be air. But if you sell 80 or 90% of the same thing, it'll fit in a box and take up a lot less space. So I recommend, if you're running out of space, sell smaller items, sell more similar items, and sell modular items, because then you can stack that space. In a 10 by 10 room, you could actually have a couple thousand items. And a couple thousand items, if you're selling 2 to 5 items a day with 150, with 1,000, you'd be selling 20 to 50 items a day. You can afford a 10 by 10 space anywhere. California, New York, anywhere with that kind of sell-through rate.
Regarding your Friday live stream
Yep.
party,
Yep.
people are liking the idea.
Okay.
Ivor says, can we get Chris a dunk tank and have it activate by live sales?
You know, that's interesting. I do want a dunk tank, but I don't understand what would be worth it for me to get dunked. I do like the idea, though. I would buy a dunk tank
If you had it by live sales, wouldn't it just...
at a certain amount.
Oh yeah, like a certain amount of...
Yeah, I just don't know what
You
that
reach a
number
goal.
is.
You have to reach a
I
goal.
want to be dunked in water. I want it to reach the goal, and then, like, let's say, I'm more
want to be
interested in people that, like, if 100 people reach their listing goal, I'll get dunked for free. If people join, and we have 100 people and all of them hit their listing goal, I don't
that'd be
know.
epic,
I
yeah.
don't know how much a a dunk tank costs. Can somebody look it up? What does a dunk tank cost?
Yeah.
Is it like, ideally, I mean, this is, maybe I'm a masochist. I'd want it to be freezing cold water.
I mean, it's been hot lately.
It's
here.
been hot.
Okay, not super hot, but pretty hot.
For here, 80 degrees is hot.
There's like 90 or 100 inland. A little
Oh, were you,
bit. Yeah,
was
a
it
bit more
100?
inland. Yeah, it was like 100.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, I would love to be dunked if 100 people reach their listing goal for free. I just, how does that work? Would it, because it would have to be like, I'm pretty tall.
Yeah,
So it'd
that's
have
true.
to be like
Kind
pretty
of deep
tall.
enough.
Like a kiddie pool wouldn't do it.
Ivor says it's about $230 a day to rent in Canada.
Oh, I can't rent it. I need to keep one.
Audio's good.
Oh, audio's
I
good.
had a stock tank.
Oh, you
Oh.
did?
You can get a stock tank at Home Depot for $100.
Yeah.
And I'm 5'11". You're a little taller than
Yeah.
I am. And I just put ice in it, so you
Oh,
just get a
ice.
chest
Oh,
freezer.
okay.
That's a good way to go.
Ah.
Oh, okay. So I
Dunked in
guess
ice.
if 100 people join, they hit their listing goal. I'll do the dunk tank. I'll do it every day because I want to do that video where like I took a cold plunge every day for 30 days. I love those kinds of videos. So I'm psyched. 100 people. I don't need money. Let's just all reach our goals.
Yeah.
I'll dunk myself.
Ken says, hey Chris, would you choose Poshmark or eBay as a main source for a video game reseller getting into clothing reselling?
Clothing, I would pick eBay. Video games, I would pick eBay or Amazon. I would join the video game call on Fridays with Jack Weaver, and he is just doing that full time on Amazon FBA. I probably would not sell on eBay. I'm ungated in video games too. I probably would just sell video games on Amazon 100%. Even though Jack is saying it's getting harder and harder on Amazon, I definitely wouldn't sell on Poshmark because they only have priority mail.
I think they're asking, so they are a video game reseller, but they're getting into clothing reselling.
If you're
So
getting
for
into
the
clothing
clothes-
reselling, eBay is the best because it has the most people. But shoes specifically, Posh Post for $7.97, being able to ship a pair of shoes is nice. I'm gonna be entering in. This is gonna sound a little bit weird, but a little bit of Category 2 shoe sales. My buy cost on shoes is $4. I kind of want all 70 of my listings going in the Poshmark to be $20 shoes. I just feel like they're gonna sell so fast compared to the more expensive shoes that I have. I just like that, like 4 into 20, 4 into 20, 4 into 20. After Poshmark fees, it's 4 into 16, 4 into 16, 4 into 16. It's like buy one pair of shoes, I can buy 3 more. I love the idea of 4 into 20 on Poshmark over and over and over again. It doesn't work like that on eBay though, because shipping a pair of shoes is around $10. So on eBay, the equivalent would be buy for 4, sell for 18. Plus on eBay, you have returns, and a return would eat up a little bit of it. Plus you have promoted listings. Plus eBay is so saturated. So shoe market, I think the category 1 shoes, eBay all day. Category 2, maybe Poshmark. And then clothing. I'm surprised how many sales I'm getting on eBay or on Poshmark with clothing. Like every single vintage item I posted sold, which is like crazy to me. And most of them overseas, because all of those shirts are going to freight forwarding in Miami or Portland. And those are like the main. Wait, is Florida a tax-free state? How come they go to Miami? Because it makes sense that they go to Portland because there's no sales tax. But like, I don't get why they go to Miami. There's got to be a tax-free state in the South. Maybe you guys can answer. I'm not sure why. I know Miami's a hub for South America, but I imagine it's more expensive if they have to pay tax to Florida and then know where they're going.
Fuyuno says, what platform do you sell on personally?
Right now, I sell on Amazon. I sell on Whatnot, it's my primary platform, and then I sell on Poshmark. And then just adding in local sales at the flea market. And then that's it for now. Right now, I'm not selling on eBay.
Jack says, exports to South America.
Yeah, but it seems like, is there not another place that's tax-free? Because I thought Florida has 7% sales tax. But maybe just all the shipping forwarding is there. So people don't care about the 7% sales tax.
Candy Toy Show says, I love you, Chris, but it sounds like you're having a midlife crisis. I'm sure you're doing well and don't care what other people think. Sports
Really?
car and minivan.
What do you guys think? Am I having a midlife crisis? I feel good.
As
I
your
don't-
identity as a reseller.
Well, I did want a sports car, but settled for a minivan. So maybe I spent about an hour looking into the LS swap to put a Corvette engine in here, but it's too. I don't have time to drive my van over there and have them put a Corvette engine in? And what if it's not reliable? Um, so it would be fun if this was stick shift, but unreasonable.
You're not having a midlife crisis. Life is short.
That's
You're saying I'm gonna figure out how to
that's
use it.
true. That's true. Life is short.
Rock and Fine says, what do you think about the live shows on Poshmark?
I just got approved today for Reseller Nirvana. So my old account, Daily Refinement, on Poshmark is already approved for live selling. I'm contractually obligated to not to not sell on Poshmark Live, but I don't like Poshmark Live as much so far. It's kind of clunky, and I don't think I'm gonna sell on Poshmark Live because I'm really digging the marketplace, honestly. Because I think I've said this in a couple of videos, but when I'm not streaming, I still get sales on Poshmark, which is the best. But if I'm not streaming on Whatnot, I don't make any money. So I don't know if am I having a midlife crisis? I do think that based on my genetic history, I will live to around 80. So next year I turn 40. So maybe I should be thinking about why am I here? Because I'm halfway.
Mike from LA says, how much would be a starting capital to start reselling business on eBay? Thank you.
I would start with just stuff around the house. That's how I started. I started with zero. Sell stuff around the house first, build up, learn what markets make sense in your area, join the group, look at the zip code column, find out what items are selling in your area. You're going to be moving a lot faster through reselling if you start under $100. You can pour gasoline once you find a niche that's doing really well. You could go all in. If you find that, hey, in your area you find a lot of on-cloud sneakers because you're by a factory or distribution center, you find out you're doing really well. You spend 100 and turn it into 1,000. Okay, that's working. You can now put some gas on the fire. But if you're just starting, don't spend more than $100.
B says, I currently sell in the UK on Depop,
Mm.
and my products are geared towards that, but I want to grow more. Would you move over to eBay and change my products to suit the eBay market?
I would move to what kinds of items you get. So this is gonna sound crazy, but I was kind of perplexed that I feel like I am a leader in the reselling community, right? But I'm never asked to speak. Not that I feel like my opinion is important or anything, but like at this point, you would think after 7 years of doing it, and like I run a decent thing, that I would at least get asked to speak. Wait, what was the question? I'm trying to relate back to that.
Is this about eBay? Whether they should move their items to eBay and get items that suit that market.
Okay, yeah, that's right. So, okay, the thing is, it doesn't matter what platform you sell on. It's about the kinds of items that you have. So this now I finally remember. Um, some I was trying to figure out why I never get asked to speak, and one person said, "Oh, because you only sold on eBay and now you don't sell on eBay." And I was thinking, I don't think that's correct because reselling is the same on every single platform. That's odd. That's odd to me. My information is not only eBay related. Are you guys in the chat saying buying quality items and quality listing doesn't apply on other platforms? Only eBay? Only eBay promotions work? Only eBay having a good return policy and good shipping and shipping fast works? So it just made me kind of wonder. I'm really selling on the platforms that I'm selling because of the types of items I am getting. So I wouldn't switch to a platform. I would switch to the platform that does best with the types of items I sell. It doesn't make sense for me to sell on Amazon because I sell mainly returns. If you guys look at what I'm mainly selling, it's returns. Returns you can't sell on Amazon. You need brand new gift quality items. So it wouldn't make sense for me to sell on Amazon. One of the people I was asking, I'm like, it's weird that I'm not being asked to speak at your event. And they were like, well, why don't you sell on Amazon? I think you would do really well at it. And I think you would be invited. And I'm like, I wouldn't sell on Amazon so I would get invited to speak. That doesn't make sense either. So I think people maybe have this circuitous way of thinking, but like, is my information not useful? I find it odd that I'm not being asked to speak on how this works because I feel like there's not a lot of people talking about how it works.
Don says maybe because people just go to those events to hang out and not really learn about resale.
Maybe. I just think, I don't know. Like, I've hosted 3 events here. A total of 9 people came. Like, I find that odd. Um, what is the fun? What? Okay, guys, help me out here before we go today. What is fun? I want to try hosting something fun. Maybe I've forgotten what that is. What is fun and people would come to? What would I host that people would actually show up? Because 9 people over 3 months, it's not very strong. And shout out to Simon, visited me from the UK. Appreciate Simon coming all the way down here to learn how to do it, but I don't know. Simon actually, he didn't even come here for that. He came here to do vacation with his wife, and I was just nearby. So, what is fun that people would actually come to? Happy hour? A pig roast? A luau? I don't know. How do I get people to come?
Like in person, you mean?
In person.
I don't know.
I don't know. Let me know, guys. What do I have to host for you guys to actually come? I'm in California. California's nice. I just don't want to host another event and it's crickets. No one comes. It's embarrassing. I feel like it's embarrassing.
Video Games Explained is asking, hey Chris,
Yep.
hope you're well. Have you ever thought about private labeling products in a different niche? Since you're crushing reselling, why not get into that and make content? I'd be interested.
Yeah, I think so. That makes sense. I think a part of being a reseller is that you don't just do one thing, right? So maybe I need some help though. I'm out of time. I need a team. So if somebody, you guys want to come together and help me produce something, I think it would make sense. Just like, here's an idea. I think if I sold a reselling kit, right, and it came with a reseller ruler, a camera, a light box, a gray carpet, and it was packed into one box, and you could just buy it, and all the supplies you need would just show up in one box, I'm pretty sure we would sell that, right? But we would need to figure out how to aggregate that, because right now my Amazon affiliate code is doing okay, but I would rather have a product I could sell, because then one day the reseller essentials kit, it can live beyond me, right? Our company, Reseller Essentials Kit, doesn't have to be Daily Refinement. We could also give it to other influencers and they can sell it too. I'm not the only one talking about reselling. I wish we could do a poll. I wonder how many people think resellers are bad people. I think the people in the group are biased because you guys are resellers yourselves. But is anybody here a reseller and they think they're a bad person?
I mean, there were a few people who were kind of joking that they are bad people.
Oh, yeah?
But,
are you joking or are
I
you
mean,
serious?
I don't know.
Okay, let's take 3 more questions.
Okay. Oh, and people are saying, like, maybe it's because it's kind of expensive in California, like, to come out here. And
What if my event was free? That's
well, they
like,
have to fly, though, right?
I
Or,
guess they
it
have,
depends
I
on where
guess
you
they
are.
have to
Depends on where
fly.
you are,
But it's
though.
like, I invited people here for free. I just said, oh, maybe resellers are cheap. I said you have to buy lunch.
Your own
Not
lunch.
you have to buy your own lunch. So was that the reason people didn't come?
Yeah, someone says do a pizza party.
Do I also have to buy the pizza?
Maybe, yes.
Because that's crazy. But maybe that is the reason. I said you have to buy your own lunch. So only 9 people came. Man. I even bought donuts and coffee for people.
Nice.
I'm not very good at marketing. I can't get people to show up.
Let's see. Let's do a few more questions.
This is cool that you can tailgate in the back of the van, but it's not very comfortable.
Oh, really?
No, this is not comfortable.
You need like some extra cushions or something.
And I will say that with the van, my only complaint is that the seats are not that comfortable.
What if we did a charity event where we go out and find a bunch of profit stuff, sell it on Whatnot, and then donate it all to, I don't know, some charity?
Okay, guys, no hate on Harry Tornado. I love Harry Tornado. But how come people are like, lining up to go to his event, and I can't get people to come here. I don't get it. I love Josh. Josh invited me to FlipCon. Very nice of him. But like, how come I can't get people to show up? What's so different about him? Why can he sell out a conference, but I can't get people to come here?
I don't know.
I don't know. So I'm really curious. What is wrong with my marketing abilities?
Let's see. Where was I? Oh, here we go. Minecraft is asking, hey Chris, how would you source thousands of toys? I'm in the UK. You can definitely source a few hundred toys from car boot sales and eBay lots, but how can I expand more?
You would have to figure out where thrift stores donate them. That would be the only way to get thousands of used toys. You would have to have like a fair, like let's say you rented out. Wembley seems aggressive, but some kind of huge area, right? And then people went there to trade in their toys, right? That would be if you created a UK toy trade-in I don't know what kind of event people would go to in the UK. But some like a soccer match maybe, right? Where people go and they trade in their toys to get cash to go buy other toys. I think you could get 1,000 toys in one day if you had a really cool event the kids went to, like maybe a amusement park, right? Bring a toy, make a deal with the amusement park. If you guys bring a toy to trade in, we'll pay you fair market value for the toy and you can use it towards your tickets. I don't know. But you would need to create some kind of model. Thousands of toys is no joke. You need some kind of system to do it. Car boots is the manual sniper mode. You need a outbound marketing way to get 1,000 toys at once. That's very hard. For me to get 1,700 pieces of clothing, that's me having reach people going and looking for me. I wouldn't be able to manually go get thousands of pieces of clothing. It would take too long.
Charlou says, what do you think is the most underutilized category that could use more sellers on Whatnot?
On Whatnot, shoes. The sneaker category is very difficult. Just hard because like you're trying to sell shoes for 140 that you paid 80 for. It's just really hard to like actually make any money. But if you're in that, you can hustle and you can find $20 to $40 shoes you can sell for 60 to 100. That market is underserved. Lots of people have 60 to $100 for a pair of new kicks, but it's hard to source. You got to bust your ass going to all the Nike outlets, all the TJ, all the Ross, all the Burlington to find all those things that you can move at volume. But there's a lot of people selling expensive sneakers and a lot of people selling beaters. No one in the middle, really. Rinzi is the closest I've seen. One more.
Duncan is asking, hi Chris, should one use dynamic promoted listings on eBay?
I wouldn't because I don't want eBay touching my rate. I want to pick whatever rate I'm comfortable with. And they're always going to pick too high, I think. It's kind of like saying, charge me what you want. Wouldn't you guys just charge more? You know what I mean? Like, okay, I just saw this meme where Andrew Tate walks into a restaurant and he's like, bring me some food. And the guy's like, okay, sir. And he knows it's Andrew Tate, so he kind of like says, okay, sir, you're awesome. And then in the meme, it's like they bring everything on the menu out to him. And it's like the understanding your market. This person's kind of there to waste money. So maybe charge as much as possible. So that's kind of how I see dynamic pricing. So when you go into eBay and put, sorry, that's a long answer. Charge me whatever you want to. Isn't eBay going to be like 30% sounds fair to me? Because why not? So it's supposed to be based on market, but if everybody clicks dynamic, it's going to be ridiculously high. So I do not recommend dynamic pricing for anything. Just pick a price that you're comfortable for, or else it's really hard. Like it would be like my workers charging me dynamic pricing. I don't want that. I want a set hourly rate. bill me what you think is fair would be very scary. They'd be like, we think we deserve $1 million today, and that would be hard. So anyway, appreciate you guys. Hopefully this live was better. The audio was okay because we're in the parking lot, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yep. Thanks for hanging out.
Bye.
Bye.